Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime!
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Hey, Riley, how many touchdowns you kick last year?
You can't kick a touchdown, Hank.
Well, maybe you can't. I need a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale.
I mean, I caught a touchdown.
That's cool. Who kicked it to you?
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Hey, Riley, the most important position on a football team. No.
Well, it's a team sport, Hank.
Wrong. No, it's kicker. Why do you think they call it football? Why do you think Lithia Ford is having a fall kickoff sale? Tell you what, they're not having a fall tight end sale.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
What's up, Bronco Nation? How we doing? Happy Thursday, August 13th. It is Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. We do this each and every weekday at 9 a.m. talking Boise State football. We'll get into basketball when that season gets going, when there's news there as well. But happy to have you with us on a Thursday edition of BNN. And we hope this is your spot for daily Boise State football talk, especially during fall camp. We've got all kinds of things going on, and we are pumped to tell you about it, talk to you about it, show you some interviews, some highlights, get our man Chris Van Sickle's analysis. He's been at every practice covering things as good as anybody for us here at Bronco Nation News, so we appreciate that. And Billy D does it again, first in the chat here watching from Minnesota, and Chad says, damn it, Billy, I've been refreshing for the last 10 minutes. How do you do it? So, Billy, we appreciate your dedication to be in the first one there into the chat. Soccer team gets the win last night. Congratulations going to them. The first answer to a trivia question maybe someday. First Boise State team to win a Pac-12 match, that is, or game. That is the soccer team. And we got Escalon, California checking in. The video feed from the soccer match was excellent. Loved the Pac-12 coverage on YouTube. So we can get into that as we get going. Omaha in the house. Always appreciate that. Michael Whitmore watching from Las Vegas. Sunny Florida. Scott Ford checking in as always. Keep the shout outs going. Well, let us know where you're watching from, how you're doing this morning, and we'll get to those in the Idaho Central Credit Union YouTube chat here as we move along. We are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Make sure you pick up a Sun Cruiser, whether it's the iced tea vodkas, the lemonade vodkas, all the various flavors they have there. No carbonation, low carbs, low calories. Sun Cruiser. Let the good times cruise. And, of course, as always, our title sponsor is Lithia Ford of Boise. Tim Sturk and company appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise for their support of Bronco Nation News. And they've been our title sponsor here since the beginning of the year, and we're very appreciative and thankful. So if you're looking for that new or pre-owned vehicle, get out to Lithia Ford of Boise. And they're taking care of Spencer Danielson and Jeremiah Dickey and some players, and they can take care of you as well at Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. All right, we want to get to the semantics. The previous wrestling team was in the old Pac-12, so I guess technically maybe they had a win in the old Pac-12. You got me there, Spark Cop. Nice job. But the first new Pac-12 is the women's soccer team. Surf City Bill checking in from Southern California. Appreciate you as well. Hopefully you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're putting all kinds of content out there, practice videos, highlights, interviews, all kinds of stuff. Mateo's doing a great job. Our intern getting some more videos posted and things. So make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. Give us a click, like, and subscription there on YouTube, and we will continue to add content there daily. We're pushing towards 8,000 subscribers, and we're giving Mateo, our college student, a bonus here if we can get to 8,000 subscribers. So help subscribe, get us another 170 or whatever it is to get to 8,000, and we will have a nice little bonus for our man Mateo, who's doing a great job. So did have the first practice in full pads yesterday. Got practice again today. It's an evening practice. They have interviews, thankfully, at like noon. So I'm going to go down for the interviews, but got the red Cardinal cap on. I ain't going to make it to practice tonight. I apologize, folks. I'm taking taking off about 3 o'clock today. I'm going to go watch some golf at the Boise Open, then hit up the Nelly concert tonight. So that was I said it earlier in the week, but that was growing up in St. Louis and when I was in high school. That was literally the early 2000s, right there during the country grammar era. And Nelly was if you were a kid growing up in St. Louis, you're a huge Nelly fan. So the fact that he's coming to the Boise Open is kind of crazy, and it'll be very interesting to see all these folks in golf polos watching golf and folks rocking out to Nelly. But we're gonna have a little fun tonight. I know our man Dayton Robinson is traveling over. Hopefully some of you guys, maybe we'll see you there and have a cold one or something. But looking forward to seeing Nelly. May have to rock the Albert Pujols jersey or something tonight. We'll see. I don't know. I got an Ozzie Smith retro. We'll find something, but looking forward to a little night out with my wife and some friends to watch some golf and then listen to Nelly. So should be fun. But a guy that knows a lot about having some fun, Chris Van Sickle, joins us now as well on Bronco Nation News. Chris, appreciate you for jumping on as always. Let's see. Will Nelly be wearing the Band-Aid under his left eye? Don't know. I thought originally you were saying, am I going to be rocking the Band-Aid? No, we're definitely not going that far, but should be don't make it out to a lot of concerts and things just with kids and sports and everything. So looking forward to getting out there tonight. And that's why I will not be at practice tonight, but Chris and some others will be, and we'll have full reports. Chris, I think you've made it to every practice that's been open so far. Appreciate you jumping on, man. How's it going?
Oh, great, man. It's another morning. Got my green tea that I have every morning. I'm a simple man and excited to talk some Boise State football.
Well, we appreciate you for coming on. You're doing a great job with the practice reports. You were there yesterday and had the report from the first full padded practice. I was there. I think we had the whole crew there yesterday. So it's pretty much 3 or 4 of us at pretty much every practice so far. So first practice in full pads yesterday for the Broncos. And I'll tell you what, Chris, I mean, it's always the case, so it wasn't really a surprise. We knew it was coming, but it does ramp up the intensity a little bit once they put on the full pads.
It's funny how, and I'm not going to give away any details, but everything does get a little chippier once you put the full pads on, doesn't it? Like they guys know the intensity goes way up.
It does, and even like the coaches, some of the, individual periods, whether it was goal line, whether it's short yardage, whatever, they got different periods they do, and the coaches get into it when they're making stops or scoring, and Jabril Frazier's out there strutting, and they're all having their good time. I mean, it's been a long off season waiting to hit somebody, and they got after it yesterday pretty good. And the live tackling was back as well. I know that was a big deal. People were wondering how much tackling they were going to do. They had a couple periods of live tackling, but I know some of the one-on-ones, there was an open period that you got to watch down there on the down there at the far end of the field. I was kind of up with the quarterbacks, receivers, I believe, at that point. But there was was it the edges and then some of the linemen going one-on-one? I know that was a period that was open to the media that you were allowed to talk about, that there was some pretty good battles going on there.
Yeah, anybody who knows me knows I love the trenches. I love those offense and defensive linemen. Really enjoyed that period. Got to see some intensity, some guys getting after it, some guys that are going to walk away with some film that they're going to have to work on for sure. I felt like the defensive line had a really, really good day.
Who were some of the guys in those one-on-ones that stood out to you?
Mikhail Edwards, the Central Washington transfer, having a really good camp. Beat one of the younger offensive linemen with a swim move, and it was impressive. He looks really good. Max Steege is a guy who's having a really good camp. He's come in looking real healthy, looking real fast. Agility off the edge there. He's looking twitchy, and I think he's really poised. He also had a really good couple individual goes there.
And those one-on-one reps for whether it be the tackles and the edge guys, I mean, those are, sometimes, the DB versus the receiver is maybe to some people a little more exciting, but some of those one-on-ones with the linemen, they can get after it a little bit, and those are fun to watch as well.
Yeah, David Latu. I was just thinking of one rep that I was watching where the poor offensive lineman, Latu just kind of engulfed him and pushed him straight backwards. Another guy who's poised for a big season. I know the media talked to him yesterday, but really like what I'm seeing from that interior defensive line, which honestly came into camp as my biggest concern. And I think they checked a lot of boxes so far. As long as it keeps up, I'll be walking out of camp feeling a lot better about that group.
Now, I am going to be doing what other folks can do, and that is go to our YouTube channel here. And so we may have an ad pop up. We'll see. But we've got some highlights posted here on our YouTube channel. Every day, you guys should be going to YouTube. We'll put these video highlights together from some of the open practice periods. But this is that drill you're talking about. Take us through some of this.
Yeah, I mean that's just the defensive end or edge rusher, whatever you want to call them, just getting around that corner. That's that twitchiness that you talk about that you want to see. It's much more important than just flat out speed. You just want them to be able to get skinny. Is I don't know if that's politically correct anymore, but get skinny, get through that hole and get to the quarterback. And this is the younger group. The more veteran group was on the other side, but I saw a lot of good things here. I think Connor LeGros is here over 63. I know his mom is real active on social media. I wanted to give him a shout out. He looks really good, looks really big for a true freshman.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So they've got the lineman there, and then there's 73 in a battle right there. But yeah, this is kind of a fun one when they get to the one-on-ones. The intensity picks up. Looks like you moved the camera here to come around to the back corner for a different angle.
This was a tough angle here. I did my best here. I didn't want to get in the way. But and then here's some quarterbacks. But K.O. Edwards, a guy who, when he signed, I kind of thought maybe he was going to come in as more of a depth piece. And he is making an immediate impact and is going to push for reps on September 5th against Oregon.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Here's the offensive line again going through some drills, and none of us claim to be the most amazing cameramen. So if there's any shakiness or whatever, we're doing the best we can. Sometimes we're being told to move. Sometimes we have someone's in our way. We're trying to move without stopping the camera. Here they are, the offensive line practicing, hurrying up to the line of scrimmage there, and so you work on everything at some point during camp.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's. That often going back to the offensive line video there, I thought that was really good to see, because you really want, they're trying to get to the line quick there. That's no secret that they use that sometimes, and those offensive linemen were getting off and really getting a push there. So you love to see that, and I'll highlight it a little later, but there's some young offensive linemen that are really stepping up and could make a immediate impact.
I'll say this as we transition to the defense here in the linebackers for a minute. Stacy Collins was getting after it yesterday. I was there's a reason this video is muted. I'll just say that. Stacy Collins, he's an intense coach, man. Players love playing for him because they know he means well and has their back, but he certainly is an intense guy when it comes to doing the drill the right way. And if you're not paying attention at the right time to the drill, he's going to let you know. And there was a time where the group maybe was going a little slower pace than he would have wanted, and he brought them together, and he got on Bowen Phelps, the leader of that group, to say, hey, you going to let this happen? This is your group, take control here, and let's go. And you saw him there a couple reps ago, helping, making sure one of the players got lower with their eyes to where they need to be, and you can see him coaching guys between drills. And so this was during an open portion of the practice, and there they are working on some tackling now as well. And again, first day in full pads, the intensity gets ramped up, but they were certainly working on some of the different techniques and things, and then obviously working on getting off blocks and then finishing with the tackle there.
Yeah, and for the most part, from what we can report, I was impressed. The defensive backs were making some plays. Practicing well. They made some tackles, but overall, it was a really intense day. Stacy Collins, man, that's not a guy you want to disappoint there. Let's put it that way, because he will get after it, and he does get after it. And this coaching staff has a wide variety of personalities, but Stacy Collins and you mentioned Jabril Frazier earlier, two of the more intense personalities on that staff.
Bowen Phelps with a tackle there, and they're again, the different drills, different ways to do it. It's not all quote unquote live tackling. They can do the drills there with the pads and things, but the tackling, they're working on it. I mean, they've done some other tackling drills obviously before they got into the full pads, but they had some periods during practice. Again, we can't get too specific, Chris, but I mean, they had some live periods, whether it was certain situations, whether it was middle of the field. I think I even heard say at one point quarterbacks are live at one point. So I mean, as we transition back to the offense here, but I mean, they were doing some tackling, they were getting after it. And what do you make of the receiver group, Chris? And we've talked a lot about Nitro Wright, and we've seen some clips that have been posted by Boise State of him making some big plays. There's Quentin Brown right there with a catch. What do you make of what you've seen from the wide receiver group so far?
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot more depth there than I expected. I really thought that you would come into fall camp, a couple guys would stand out, and the rest would kind of maybe fade away into the background, and that's not happened at all. There is legitimate 6 wide receivers that are going to see playing time, I think. They'll release a depth chart at some point, but don't read too much into that. There's going to be a lot of rotation in this wide receiver group, as there should be. There's a lot of different talent here. You got some of the smaller, if you want to call them, guys with a little bit more speed. Quentin Brown, I think Terry Favors is going to have an impact there, and then you've got Cash Williams, like a guy that I highlighted yesterday, and I think deserves a little bit of a shout out is AJ Jones, number 17. He's coming in as he's going to be a sophomore now that we do the 5 for 5. And he's got great leaping ability and a great catching radius. So they've got a lot of talent here. You mentioned Nitro Wright. Really impressed with him. He and Maddox, Boise State released a video of them connecting for a touchdown the other day. They seem to have a really good connection. And then of course you've got Rashawn Jones and Cam Bates. Cam Bates is making some of the best plays of camp so far, and Boise State's released one of them. You can see a diving catch. It's unbelievable. I know a lot of fans are going to point to some of the drops last season, and I know during media days he was not shy about that becoming a priority. And I think Alvis Whitted coming in as a wide receiver coach, this group is playing with more energy than I remember them playing in recent years.
Yeah, no doubt. And they he's out there in cleats. I mean, he's getting after it with some of those guys. And it's been a different style than we're used to seeing with Matt Miller. Not to say one's better than the other. They're just different. But it seems like Alvis Whitted is really getting after it with this wide receiver group. And it's been a nice fit so far.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. Like you said, Matt Miller and Alvis Whitted have very different styles. Not anything against Matt Miller, but I think this style is connecting with these players a little differently, and it's really paying off thus far. We've seen some really great catches during open periods. These guys are connecting with the quarterbacks. Every one of them, the young quarterbacks are playing well too, but really. Impressed with Alvis, our right now, but overall, Boise State fans should be really pleased with that hire so far.
Well, Boise State fans, Chris, are pleased with your coverage here. A lot of great comments coming in. Grant saying Chris V is the man. Always love hearing his input and breakdowns. Keep it up, buddy. We had another comment higher in the chat, if I can find it here, about enjoying your coverage as well. Let's see here. I want to find it. Chris Van Sickle reporting so damn good. Love it. So not sure Boise State feels the same way, Chris, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate it, and I just appreciate the opportunity. It's a lot of fun, no doubt.
All right. We mentioned the receivers. This guy is a fantasy football addict from NYC, wondering about Rashawn Jones. Do we know if he's on track to be a starter? Again, they're moving those guys around a lot in terms of the depth chart. We're not supposed to get specific on that, but I think it's fair to say he's going to be a key piece of the offense.
He's going to have a big role. Certainly won't name him a starter, but he's going to have a big role. I can't think of a throw during open period that is that he's dropped. Like this young man just has a great ability to center the ball and come down with it. He's been super impressive. And you think back to the spring game, the one-handed catch in the end zone. He's impressive. Yeah, he's certainly going to have a big role. I thought it was funny. Cam Bates there in media day was asked, what would be more surprising if Rashawn Jones had 50 catches or didn't have 50 catches? And Bates said that he would be more surprised if Rashawn Jones didn't have 50 catches.
Wow.
So I think that says a lot for coming from a leader, a veteran of that young group.
He's Chris Van Sickle. My name is BJ Rains. This is Bronco Nation News Live. If you got any questions from the first 6 practices, our thoughts, our questions, position battles, whatever you got, get those in the chat, and we will get those to you here in just a little bit. Want to thank a couple of our great sponsors real quick, and that concludes Piston. If you're a company and you own businesses a business where you pay for gas for your employees, whether it's company vehicles, personal vehicles, if you pay for the gas for your employees, you need to check out Piston. It's an app. There's no card. You can track it, how much gas, how many gallons, the price, all that good stuff. And just random charges on your credit card that say Jackson's, and you're not sure if they were getting snacks and beer or if they were actually getting gas. You can now pay attention to that, and you can track it all, and it's much easier. And there's a QR code, and it's just so easy to use. Highly recommend it. You get discounted fuel as well. So if you want, cheaper fuel, but also a better way to track it, you need to hit up our friends at Piston. It's available at all Jacksons here in the Treasure Valley, and I used it to test a tank of gas, and who knows, maybe we'll be using this for the BNN employees here to be getting some gas here in the near future. But 650-739-8327, piston.com. If you're looking to save some money on your gas and have a better way to track your employees' fueling system, I highly recommend you check out our friends at piston.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Check them out as well. Our YouTube chat sponsor here, and we'll get back to those comments in the ICCU YouTube chat shortly. But they've got Pearson Carmichael back for another year. They've got Maddox Madsen. They've got some others. They're now in the stadium. You see their logo. We appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. All the different various options for checking accounts, savings accounts, but more importantly, you just support the folks that support the Broncos, and that's Idaho Central Credit Union. Return the favor, folks, ICCU.com. Hey, a little more time to take advantage of the Jackson's Roaring Springs deal. Buy 2 Coca-Cola products and save up to $32 at Roaring Springs from Jackson's or Extra Mile by Jackson's. And don't forget, they still have the 99-cent bigger fountain drink going with the Let's Go Rewards app. So 99-cent bigger fountain drink from our friends at Let's Go Rewards app. Hey, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, 252-9877. You can check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. And I see Austin Dixon in the picture there. Congratulations to him. Got married recently. But he's got full staff there. Seth Robinson, I see in the back there, some former Boise State athletes. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, Matt will and his team are ready to help give you top dollar like they did for our home. And again, you can check them out at BauscherRealEstate.com. RowPaint.com as well. Andy Rowe and Company or RowPaint.com. All your painting needs. Make sure you hit up RowPaint.com. Interior, exterior painting, those concrete coatings. RowPaint.com. It was announced this morning, Chris, by the way, it is official. Maybe a chance to reenact this photo here. Luke Combs is returning to the Blue. It'll be Saturday, June 12th. Luke Combs is officially coming back to the Blue on Saturday, June 12th. And I'll tell you what, you see the list of stadiums that he is going to, Chris. This is the only college stadium on the tour. There are 2 Canadian stops. So, but the ones in North America here in the United States, I believe it's 9 NFL stadiums or something like that. And then Petco Park in San Diego, a Major League Baseball stadium. So you're talking about, little old Boise, Idaho and little old Albertson Stadium being thrown in with some of the biggest, most iconic stadiums in all of, all of the land here. And so I think it's a pretty big deal. And it's Dallas Cowboys Stadium. You got Minneapolis, Minnesota, Detroit, Ford Field. You got Philadelphia, Foxborough, Pittsburgh, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. And then they do go to Edmonton and Vancouver. But then you have Boise, Idaho on June 12th, over to Denver, Colorado on June 19th, and then San Diego on June 26th. But of the 12 stops here, again, 8 NFL stadiums, 1 baseball stadium, 2 Canadian stops, and 1 college stop, and that is Boise, Idaho on June 12th. So that's a pretty cool deal for Boise and should be another money-making event. I know some folks would want somebody new. Some folks would want, that'll be 4 years since he came. He came in 2023, so I don't, but I know some folks would like to see maybe a non-country genre. I get that, but Luke Combs will sell out for sure, and that's a pretty big deal coming next June 12th.
Yeah, and as a Boise native, grew up, born and raised here, it's a lot of credit to the administration here at Boise State to get on that map, to get into that tour. So it's not something I would have ever thought I'd see growing up, but it's significant. And I think stuff like the North End Zone project, some people gave Jeremiah Dickey some flack for that. That's the kind of stuff that keeps these tours coming back.
No doubt about it. All right, let's get back to the questions, comments in the ICCU YouTube chat. Anything you want to know about fall camp, let us know, and we'd be happy to help give our thoughts with what's allowed in the rules here, which this one's going to be a little tough to say, Chris, too specifically, but Skyship wants to know updates on the kicker competition. All I'll say is I'll say it. 3 kickers that I would say are getting chances right now. I'm not going to say who's first, who's second, who's third, but it's not, maybe they know, and but I mean, there is a, I guess, public perception from my perspective that it is a competition based on what we're seeing in practice. And there's not 1, not 2, but 3 guys who have all been in the mix and all made some pretty nice, notable field goals, I'd say, through the first 6 practices.
Yeah, one of them had a very impressive field goal that we were talking about yesterday. Of course, I'm not going to comment on it. It wasn't during an open period, but it's a legitimate 3-person competition, I'd say.
And the third one, I mean, we don't have to get specific, but what do we know about the true freshman here? That's like I said, in the mix here.
Let me get his name right. Braden Scott. Yeah, Braden Scott, number 42. Coming out of California, was actually a rugby player to begin with, took on football and took right to it. He actually had some offers to play linebacker and safety at the lower FCS levels, but decided that kicking was going to be his way to the league, he hopes. And he's He's very talented. I'll say that. He can make it from long range. I know Stacy Collins said during media days that he was going to come in as a kicker, and I think that shows a lot of faith in him. I think there's a bright future there.
Would you say they're all getting chances because they've all been doing well, or because they're all a little bit worrying? I would say they've all actually done at times pretty well.
Yeah. I
would say it's a positive competition. It's not, oh, this guy sucks, let's give another guy a chance. I would say and what are you supposed to do? It's a week into camp. You're going to give all these guys chances. Like, we're probably making a bigger deal about it than it is. But I will just say, when a Kanan Moore or Scott are getting their chances, again, not getting specific, I think they're taking advantage of that. I mean, Kanan Moore was a guy last year that got put in there in the middle of a game, and I know eventually they went back to Boomer, but I think Moore's right in the thick of this thing.
Yeah, Stacy Collins, special teams coordinator, has been very vocal about Kanan Moore having a very live leg, and he's going to have a role, I think, for sure.
Double O'Neill says, just tell me our kickers can actually make the kicks. I would say for the most part they've been doing that, I would say.
Yeah.
Right tackle, Bronco 130 says, how's the right tackle position looking?
It's looking good.
There's been some movement there, though. That's been interesting. There's different guys. Again, not getting specific on the depth chart. Let's just say there's multiple guys getting opportunities. Who are some of the guys in the mix at right tackle right now?
Yeah, I mean, you look back at Dalen Matoyer, and you can have all kinds of discussions about the season he had last year, and we have had a lot of discussions. Overall, solid. I think he's a good player. And then you look behind some of the younger guys. Jacob Tracy's a guy, former tight end at high school, had 1 year in high school where he got to focus on playing offensive tackle, has come in, really developed there as a legit 6'6", and has hit that 300-pound goal that coaches have for that group. I've been impressed throughout camp. He gets after it. I think that he has a little bit more athleticism to handle some of those pass edge speed rushers coming off the edge. Jacob Tracy is one of the young offensive linemen that I was going to highlight. It's been interesting to watch.
And we talked to Carson Rasmussen yesterday as well. He's making a push there at left guard.
Yeah, he's right there. He saw some time last year, and I Nathan would remember better than me, but I believe his Pro Football Focus numbers were solid. A local kid, he's big, he's versatile. He can play a little bit of everything from what I've observed, and I think it's a guy you're going to see on the field.
All right, keep the questions, comments coming here. Let's see. When are we going to get Chris his own late night show about recruiting?
We might have to talk about that, BJ. I haven't always been the one to go in front of the camera. That's not always been my forte, but I think as I've come along with BNN, I've become a little more comfortable with it.
All right. Well, we're going to put that to the test come some of these pre and post game shows back at Uncle Bob's Pizza this year. But speaking of recruiting, Chats, is any new recruiting updates? Are they okay with a bit of a smaller class right now since they had a pretty big one last year? Seems to be pretty quiet right now. Where are they on the recruiting update?
It is pretty quiet right now. I'm not going to lie. I've been trying to dive around and look around, and wherever they're recruiting, I'm not catching on to it. So it's pretty quiet right now. I did have a conversation with Brandon Jones, and I need to get that article. I started it, but I haven't quite finished it yet. This is going to be a smaller class. They feel really good about the base and the recruiting class that they had last season and are going to build off of. So from what I've been told, I would guess there's only going to be 2 or 3 more recruits added to this class. Now, will there be decommitments? Most likely. This is a very talented class so far, and they're going to start getting some phone calls and some DMs being dropped in to their mom, or of course they would never approach them directly. It's going to be a smaller class, but I think they're in a really good position to just take the best available. It's one of those where maybe you don't have to focus on one position group because you just have everything pretty much covered, and you can just decide, hey, this is the best player to make this team better. And like I said, I think we'll see 2 or 3 more. It wouldn't surprise me if they go the junior college route. They've done that in the past, and I got to say, so far, I think it's working out pretty well. So I wish I had more news for y'all, but they are mostly focused. Now, granted, certainly there's recruiting staff working on it, don't get me wrong, but the coaches are focused on getting this team ready for Oregon.
Well, okay, the good to know on the recruiting aspect. And nowadays with the portal and everything, it's just not as important to it's just a different way to do it, right? You don't have to have the 20 guys. You can wait till the spring and load up on whatever. You need to save some spots for more impact guys too.
Yeah, I've been following Boise State recruiting since I was a teenager. I'm old now. It's been a while, and it's changed so much. With the transfer portal. Junior college guys used to be maybe a guy that you filled in with, and now a lot more talent's going the junior college route, and it's paying off for them, and it's paying off for the programs that still recruit junior college. So Boise State, their developmental program. If we had a nickel for every time we heard that, I wouldn't have to work for BNN. But they stick to that. They want to develop these players. They bring in youngsters, and they want to develop them.
All right, keeping the questions going here with Chris Van Sickle. Ben Watland says, who is looking strong at safety? Again, can't get too specific. Derek Ganter Jr. Well, just had a nice day yesterday, Chris.
Yep.
He's a guy that I'm very high on. I think he's had a nice camp, and I think, put up the big numbers at Eastern Washington. Yeah. Obviously, last year was finding his role, and he had a lot of talent, he was trying to compete with, but now he kind of takes over as a starter there. I think Derek Ganter Jr., to me, is in line for just a monster season. Who else are you looking at there at safety?
Travis Anderson's a guy who he's going to have a lot to prove. I think he has a lot of talent. He came in with a reputation out of high school as kind of a ball hawk. He had a ton of interceptions. He's going to need to prove that he can handle it physically. His tackling was rough last season. Granted, most of that was on special teams, I think. But he's a guy that if he can step up, he's kind of that fire plug guy, kind of player that is just going to give his all. And I think he's poised for a big season as long as he can figure out that tackling aspect.
By the way, Connor's mom is in the chat here. I watch every day.
Hey, there we go. Connor's mom. Yeah, Connor LeGros. I'll give him a shout out. He's every bit of 6'6". Connor, Mrs. LeGros, I can only imagine the feeding bill that took.
Not now. She saved a lot. She's saving some money. They're letting Boise State take care of that.
Pay it off, right?
Let's see what else we got here. When will the depth chart be released? The first depth chart typically is released in the first set of game notes for the season opener. So that would be the Monday of the Oregon game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't suspect that to change. That would be the first Monday of the Oregon game. What do you make of special teams? Can't find the comment, but somebody asked how overall special teams are looking.
Without getting too specific, I think a guy that you're going to see make an impact there is Cam Bates. He's just got that speed, that twitchiness, but I think he has earned the trust of the coaches. I think that's significant. Looking back at last season, Malik Sherrod returning punts was always a little too interesting for most Bronco fans' liking. It wasn't a good kind of interesting. He was not catching them necessarily clean. I know there was a couple fumbles. I think from the punt return aspect, they are just looking for someone to be consistent, whether that be a guy like Cam Bates or even a guy like Jaden Mickey, a guy that they can put back there, veteran, knows exactly what he's doing, can make the right calls. And if they can break a tackle and make a play, that's great. They would love that. But I think they are mostly wanting some consistency, some leadership, and quite frankly, just don't fumble the ball, right? As far as kick return, I think that Dylan Riley, some people can say, well, do you really want to put your star running back out there and risk? Yeah, you do. You want to get the ball in Dylan Riley's hands as much as possible. He's shown that throughout camp. Dylan Riley looks great. He's looking like a superstar, and I could see Dylan Riley making an impact on kick return. BG, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
I think any show with Van Sickle would be dope. There's too much love for Chris in the chat here, but
Hey.
we appreciate that, Skylar. I believe you were one of the ones we played your 40 and 40 video recently, and I think I have another one I need to put in the system to play for today. I think I forgot, but any position that might be struggling or a little underwhelming, that's really hard to say in spring because you're just not. I mean, this isn't a fair thing to say, but I'm just going to say that tight ends maybe are underwhelming solely because I just haven't seen them make a lot of big time. Like, they haven't done anything wrong or bad. They just haven't maybe stood out. They've just been there. And I don't know if that's the periods we've seen. Maybe they just haven't done a lot. And maybe that's it's an unfair thing because I think all the positions at times have done positive things. But if you're looking for one that, and maybe it's because I haven't spent honestly a ton of time watching the tight ends, to be honest, just because there's other pressing issues right now, and I think the tight ends will be fine. Yeah. They would be one that I would say maybe not in a bad way, but just maybe haven't had the number of highlight reel type plays that some of the other positions have had so far.
And I understand the question. It's a very fair question, but it's hard to say because, you can say the tight ends, but maybe you could also say that's just because the linebackers are really playing really well right now, right? Like it's hard to say. I will touch on the tight end since you brought it up. I really have seen a lot from Keave Brown, the true freshman. I think him and Carter Kukenbu are two guys that are really competing. Whether that be tight end 2, tight end 3, I don't know. But those are two guys that have come in. Kukenbu, high school quarterback, high school, a little bit of everything. Played in a small town, came in last season, put on that good body armor weight, and is really looking great. Whether that be in that blocking tight end role, because they've made it pretty clear they have kind of a blocking tight end role and a receiver role. Whereas Matt Wagner can play both. But you look at that next group, and maybe you see Kukenbu take that next step as that blocking tight end, and then Keave Brown. You'll look at him and you just say that's a great athlete. He's maybe a little undersized. I believe they have him listed at 222 pounds, whereas Wagner's 250. I don't think that's going to stop him from making an impact on this team, and I would expect him to be in a little bit more of that receiving role. But he's had a good game.
All right, we got a couple minutes left for a final couple of questions here. If you got one, get it in the chat. Do want to thank Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Just donated $1 million to Boise State. You can return the favor and head on out there. And Chris, yesterday, in between interviews or practice and interviews, I went over to the Broadway Taco Bell location. Had a couple of those crunchy chicken cantina tacos, got 3 because I didn't realize I thought they were like normal sized tacos, and I forgot how big they are. And I ended up taking one home to my son when he got home from school, and he was pumped to have it waiting for him. So Taco Bell, check them out at Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. That cantina line is outstanding. The Blue and Orange store now has those new Boise State shoes. Make sure you check those out. Those new Nike Boise State shoes are available at the Blue and Orange store, as well as a number of other great items, the coaches' sign apparel, hats, and you can get those customized jerseys there at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame location. So order anywhere in the world online, theblueandorangestore.com, and they've got the Pro Images and the caps. We're getting some hats done for my son's baseball team through the Pro Image Caps location there at the mall. That's a tremendous product and great prices, too, if you're looking to get any embroidered hats or anything for youth sports teams, things like that. So check out the Blue and Orange store, again, online at theblueandorangestore.com. Signature Roofing, covering our community one roof at a time. More than 2 decades in the roofing business here in the Treasure Valley. They put a new roof on for us 2 summers ago, and we loved every second of the process. Just so it was done in like a week. It was very quick and easy. You pick out what you want, and they go to work right away. Signature Roofing, online, mysignatureroofing.com. Again, check them out, mysignatureroofing.com, and that's re-roof, repair, estimate, inspection, all your roofing needs. Hit up My Signature Roofing. Also, Element Fencing, and this goes for a lot of our sponsors, whether it's Signature, whether it's Element Fencing. Happy to connect you directly with the owner there and get that process started. Try to get you that best available deal. 631-2790, elementfencing.com. Whether it's decks, pergolas, they'll be picking our defensive player of the game, or helping us pick, I guess. And in some cases, Chris will be picking the defensive player of the game coming up from Element Fencing, starting with the Oregon game. But all your fence needs, repair to a fence, a new fence, they can do it all. Decks, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, all the greatest, newest, and you see the craftsmanship there on a couple of those fences on the screen. So check them out at Element Fencing. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com, 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states as well. Check out Ridley's Family Markets. And if you're looking for that hometown feel, ownership group that lives right here in the Treasure Valley, and just, the new self-checkout kiosk, the newest technology, and delicious food and great prices, check out Ridley's Family Markets. Visit a Treasure Valley or state of Idaho or one of their 30 in the surrounding states. Ridley's Family Markets today. All right, final couple of minutes here. Let's see. Not a lot of talk about Sire Gaines in fall camp this fall. I think that's Chris, because he's doing what we expect Sire Gaines to do. He's had a really nice camp.
He's going to be great. Don't read too much into that. Sire Gaines looks shifty. It looks healthy, most importantly, and he's going to have a massive season.
Let's see. How much has Zach Hill's promotion changed the offense? I wouldn't say a ton. I mean, I haven't, at least, again, we can't talk a lot about specific plays they're running and things in the team periods, but I haven't noticed in terms of just obvious stuff that we can see through a week of practice. I'm sure he's, being more involved as a co-OC, being more involved in the passing game, I'm sure is going to make a difference once we get to games, but it's hard a weekend to really have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I know it's a great promotion for him and well-deserved.
In the backfields, we're talking running backs here. Who will have the most receiving yards and targets this year? Who do you think is the best catching the ball out of the backfield?
It's easy to say Dylan Riley, but I'll toss a name out there. Jules Goff. I think Jules Goff, he found some success doing that last year at Pittsburgh. Has shown some great agility and great speed in the open field, and I've been impressed with Jules Goff. So I won't go with the opposite one. I'll say Jules Goff.
All right, this is always a hot topic here, so we got to tread lightly on this. But what's your take on Maddox Madsen? I know it's early. Bronco 130 says, how does Maddox Madsen look throwing the ball across the middle of the field? A lot of folks wanting our take on Maddox Madsen to this point.
Before you even put it up there, you said hot topic. I knew, we're going quarterbacks. Hey, Maddox Madsen.
QB2 also. How close is the competition at QB2? So a lot of people are interested in the quarterbacks.
Maddox Madsen looks good. They've released some video, some highlights. A lot of those were Maddox Madsen throwing the ball. So I'll touch on those. Those are impressive. I think him and Cam Bates are really making a connection, and he's had that connection with Rashawn Jones since spring ball. That seemed pretty automatic. QB2, let's not label it. It's just a quarterback group. Max Cutforth looks good. I've been impressed with his pocket awareness. I feel like that's maybe his strength as compared to Maddox Madsen. And then Cash Herrera, Jackson Taylor, both freshmen, both have looked good, have made plays. Cash Herrera looks talented enough to push for playing time. I'll put it that way.
I would say, I mean, yes, but I would say no, too, in terms of there's a lot more to it than just having a nice ball. You have to be able to run the offense. There's a lot more to it. And I think what I would say is Maddox Madsen is QB1 for a reason. Yep. I think Max Cutforth is QB2 for a reason, positive and negative. And I think Cash Herrera and Jackson Taylor are QBs 3 and 4 for a reason. Nothing at this point. I mean, do I think that it's a whole different story come January 1st next year when Herrera and Taylor and Cutforth are all maybe battling it out for QB1 next year? Yes, but right now they told us the depth chart going into fall camp. Spencer said it was QB1 for Maddox and QB2 for Cutforth, and I think it's pretty clear based on what I've seen why that's the order.
Yeah, absolutely. With any freshman, it's going to come down to what's between the ears, and that's even more true with quarterbacks. So, me and Mallory, everybody talks about the beautiful ball Cash Herrera throws, but you're absolutely right. It's going to come down to that progression, that development with the playbook, and in that meeting room.
Any final thoughts, Chris? We saw full padded practice yesterday. We're going to talk to some players today, practice tonight, and then Saturday is the first scrimmage. We'll talk to Spencer Danielson after the scrimmage on Saturday. But any final thoughts, either from what you've seen so far in camp or what you want to hear from Spencer Danielson on Saturday after the scrimmage? The floor is yours here in the Sun Cruiser Studios.
I'll touch on what I've been most impressed with coming out of fall camp thus far. It's still early. the defensive backs have really impressed me, and I know I talked to Nathan about as well. This group, you lose so much, and you look at the corners. You lose both your starters, and it sounds like maybe Irby's not coming back again. That's for another time. And they could be just as good, if not better, this season. If I was to pick out one guy who's going to make the biggest jump and possibly be all Pac-12 first team, and it's Sherrod Smith at corner. Extremely impressive, sticks to his guys, and has just a knack for making the play. I love what I've seen from him. Jaden Mickey, being able to slide out and play a little corner. I think coaches have made that pretty clear that that's what he's doing. That's his natural position. It's great that he could slide in and play nickel last year, and I think he did a great job. But I think him being able to slide back out, play his natural position, is going to pay huge dividends for this group. You look at the safeties; they've played well. It's hard to tell too much when you don't see full tackling. But overall, this defensive back group, after losing so much, I think could actually be better this season. And that's going to put Eric Chenander, who we all know likes to blitz a lot, in a great position. If he can trust those guys on the back end to cover and not get burned like maybe they have in the past, I think they're going to be dialing up some pretty impressive stuff. And this defense could be better than a lot I think.
Yeah, I think the defense has had a nice camp. I would agree with that. Hey,
yeah.
Chris, we appreciate it, man. You're doing a tremendous job. Keep it up. Folks can go back and read your thoughts on the previous practices and the practice observations. And you've been doing a good job in the message boards of answering questions for folks. So if folks have other questions they didn't get answered, or if they want to expand on some of the topics today, jump in the message boards, ask your questions, and Chris and Nathan and myself will respond to you. But appreciate it as always, man. Great stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks, BJ. Hey, when's that first Sun Cruiser getting cracked tonight? I mean, early.
I'm hoping to make it to 5, maybe 5:30. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll take the under on that one, buddy.
Got to get to interview, but no, we're going to have looking forward to the Nelly concert today, and it's going to be fun, man.
Attaboy, enjoy.
Hope I see some folks down there, but appreciate you as always, man. And yes, the Sun Cruisers will be flowing.
Attaboy.
Thanks, Chris. There he is, Chris Van Sickle. Always appreciate him jumping on. By the way, got a clip here I wanted to play from our man Luke Combs. He's announcing his concert here, and he has a couple. It's very short, 10 seconds or so, but some nice words on Idaho from Luke Combs here when he was doing his announcement.
This is fun, dude. We should do every tour. We should do it where I don't even know at all. Just let them all pick. This is my first time seeing these cards, by the way, and they're real nice looking. Boise, Idaho, coming your way. God, these look great. Idaho's a great state. Great state. Denver, Colorado.
Great state. Great state. There you go. And I believe last time Luke Combs came to Boise, which again, maybe for selfish reasons, this is why he's coming back, and it's the only college stadium, only smaller stadium on this tour. But I believe that he did some hunting and things last time that he was here, and I believe he may have even come out a couple of days early and gone. I think some folks showed some pictures of him doing some sort of hunting while he was in the area. So to hear him, and maybe he likes the state, likes the hunting, and says, yeah, if I get a hunting trip in the middle of a tour, I'll go do that for a couple of days before I do a concert. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I believe there was something tied to his last appearance in 2023 where he went and did some hunting for a day or two before the concert. But he said Boise and Idaho is a great state. So he'll be coming back again. 10 U.S. stops on next summer's tour. 8 of them are NFL stadiums. 1 is a Major League Baseball stadium, and 1 is a college stadium. And it's good old 36,000 seat Albertson Stadium here in Boise. So that's a big deal. There was some talk about maybe getting a second night. I don't know if that could still happen or not, or what the details are there. None of the others have 2 nights. So I don't know if he would do an extra night here to make up for the size difference in the stadium. I have no idea. Maybe he charges more for the tickets here to make up for it. I really have no idea. But I mean, Luke Combs could literally go, and he is, to 80,000 NFL stadiums and the 80,000 seat stadiums, and he's come do it at a 40,000 seat stadium. If they do it in the round and he puts the stage at the 50-yard line, which is what I was heard he might do, you could probably get enough people on the floor to get it for the to over the 40,000, I would think, for the Luke Combs concert. So better believe it. Red Cardinal cap. Nelly will be rapping about it tonight, and maybe I'll be maybe I'll bring Johnny. I'm hanging out with my boy Mallory tonight. A lot of friends. We got Thad and Eli and Tyler and the whole crew, and my boy John Mallory will be there. So maybe I got a couple extra Cardinal hats. Maybe we get one for Johnny ball game. Johnny, what do you think? This little work for you, Johnny? Maybe a little old school, or if you want the fitted, I got some other Cardinal caps I can maybe bring tonight for some of my boys. So, maybe you'll see Johnny and I at the concert tonight. Looking forward to that. But go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. Would love to have you subscribe. 60% off right now, folks. One of our best deals of the year. 60% off, one-time fee. If you liked what you just heard from Chris Van Sickle, all of his recruiting coverage, talking to commits, talking to guys before they visit, all of his insider thoughts from practice, that's all behind the paywall here for VIP subscribers, and you can get it for $4.67 a month right now at BroncoNationNews.com. We're part of the 24/7 sports family, so you get access to all of their great recruiting coverage and national coverage. So $4.67 a month. Jump in right now, BroncoNationNews.com. You get all of Chris's coverage, Nathan's coverage, Prater, myself, all kinds of stuff, and you'll get to hear Johnny Ball game tomorrow at 9 a.m. as we recap the Nelly concert, of course. But appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great day. We'll get interviews. We'll get practice coverage up later tonight. Chris and Nathan will be at practice. We'll have full coverage later this afternoon. But go subscribe. And again, Sun Cruiser, whether it's the iced tea vodka, lemonade vodka, if you're going golfing this weekend, hanging out, maybe if you're taking a half day like me, and you could have some in the afternoon. But Sun Cruiser, always a great sponsor of ours. We appreciate them. More to come on a watch party for the Oregon game. But make sure you join us at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian for the Oregon game, and we'll have a full coverage of that. And they'll have some deals on Sun Cruisers and things. So more to come on that. But looking forward to getting out to Uncle Bob's Pizza, and the crew will be out there. I'll be in Eugene, but the crew will be at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian, Sun Cruiser deals, and all kinds of great stuff. And as always, Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor, Jim Sturk and Company. There would be no BNN without all of our sponsors, folks. So support all the sponsors, some of our major sponsors you see on the screen, and that includes Lithia Ford of Boise. They got vehicles for Jeremiah Dickey, for Spencer Danielson, for Roger Carrion, and Matt Lauder previously, now Matt Wagner. So hit up Lithia Ford of Boise when you're ready for that new or pre-owned vehicle. And all these sponsors, folks, in one way or another, support Boise State, whether officially or unofficially through donations and things like that. So return the favor, support the sponsors, keep this show free of charge on YouTube. And if you can, $4.67 a month, go ahead and subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. So hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you in the message boards. We'll see you on the YouTube channel. Go watch the practice highlights. Go watch some of our old interviews. We'll be posting new content throughout the day. And we'll see you guys at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News online, BroncoNationNews.com.